Hello and welcome to another Netflix commentary track. I am Von Fry, the most scorned critic here on YouTube, and tonight we are watching from 1989, Roadhouse. Now this is a movie that was said to be the most popular, most played film in all of basic cable. And yes, I'm trying out some new toys. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I'm still getting a hang of this, but seriously, we're not going to have that many sound effects during our presentation tonight. But before we get started, I want to give a quick mention to my buddies over at Caldera Lab, makers of the finest skincare outside of the Double Deuce. So, if you want to use my promo code FRY15, you get 15% off at calderalab.com. We're watching on Netflix. Now, I don't think this movie's leaving soon, but it very well could. If you want to watch along with us, get your Rockstar Red Bull, or in my case, yeah, I'm drinking a Rockstar, and queue up to 0000 and hit play now. Rated R, of course. Now, I am using a new mic setup here and just a whole new array of equipment, so I'm wondering how much of an issue I'm going to have here picking up sounds from the movie. Are the copyright gods going to frown upon me? United Artists Presents, we got the MGM logo at the front there, but I'm thinking in theaters this didn't have it. I wasn't terribly familiar with this film until mid-90s. Saw it on, would see it playing quite a bit on, HBO, my best friend's house. Now, here we go. Of course, you want to start your cool movie with a Testarossa, don't you? Watched this few years back and did a review, so I'm not gonna say too much review-like here, but yeah, there's some 80s style. It's big hair, for one. You got that going for you. This guy, I think he was on, Emergency. It looks about the same. He was in My Bloody Valentine 3D and looked identical to how he does here, but I think he goes to Los Angeles or a bigger city anyhow, and he is looking to recruit a cooler for his club. Now, I think the term cooler gets Kevin Teague, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but I think the term cooler is brought up in this 2003 film, The Cooler, with the ugly guy from Fargo. I forgot his name. But different connotation here. In one, it's a guy who cools the mood. He's the head bouncer. And the other, it's a guy whose bad luck cools down a guy who's got a hot hand at a poker table. The women's hair in this seems to be... I mean, it is of the zeitgeist. It's period correct hair, but it is the hair people go to when they say, hey, we're having an 80s party. What did hair look like in the 80s? Well, turn on Roadhouse. There you go. Patrick Swayze. I mean, at the height of his powers here, just looking like a total badass. And he has such a large head. You would think he was 6'3", but in reality, Patrick Swayze is 5'10", maybe $150. Right now, I weigh 150. And I've kind of got the big Patrick Swayze noggin also. Yeah, I don't know he's lean. He's not crazy jacked or anything, but he's got some strength about him. I don't really think that he would take care of business like this. You need a guy who's in the realm of 6'3" to be a good bouncer, I feel like. 6'3" with not a six-pack, but the whole keg. And I'm trying to remember what he goes by here. It's just always you hear Dalton, but I think that's his last name. But all right, you really want to fight? Let's go outside. And then some people want to see how this goes down, of course, because this guy's like a legend in the bouncer rankings. It's kind of ridiculous. Oh man, our crack cocaine of basic cable starts with a fight averted. It's subverting expectations. Yeah, okay. Wait. I feel like too many of the clowns over on the YouTubes got the Jeff Healey band. Yeah, got an actual blind guy coming up as playing the band. It's like you hadn't heard of subverting expectations until Ryan Johnson in his The Last Jedi, right? But it's something that comes up quite a bit in film theory. And you know this guy's got to be out of West, seeing as how he's got like this opal bolo tie type thing going, right? Tillman, Frank Timon. I wish I could turn the volume up, but I'm afraid just outside Kansas City. I think he's yeah somewhere around broke ass Missouri. Really, that has got to be a ridiculous sound insulation window right there. You got bands playing, people dancing, can't hear any of it. Kind of remarkable. I just love the concept that in the world in which this film exists, there's a tiered system of these bouncers, and everybody knows Dalton's the best. He's like, no, I'm not the best. You want Wade Garrett? He's the best. Nah, he's old. And this guy, I don't understand how he thinks he can make enough money on his bar, his dump of a bar, to be able to pay this bouncer like exuberance fee. 1989, he's getting like $500 a month. You got to, or $500 a night in 1989 makes him like ugh, upper class, pretty much. Like, look, I bought in 1989. I got my NES, my Nintendo Entertainment System, for $100. Imagine you're a bar bouncer and you can buy 5 PS5s a night and on your salary. Like unbelievable. But then again, if being a bar bouncer means like you're doing Fight Club, maybe he's not being paid enough, right? At the time, uh, you didn't have a lot in the way of fighting as a profession. So in the world in which this film seems to exist, right? And this is before UFC. Yeah, you just keep my car. I like how uh, he has this way about him. He's got this nice Mercedes, right? But he never drives it to the club because he knows people are going to want to mess with his car. All right, so he's in New York, sorry. And I wasn't looking. Was this a V8 Mercedes? I don't think it's a V12. Oh, I couldn't read that quick enough. Yeah, I don't know. I think if it's a 560, I think it executive producer Steve Perry. Is that the Steve Perry? I think this model, if it says 560, it's probably a V12, but I'm not sure. Later, one that replaces this, it'd be a 600. Oh, come on, you live in Missouri. You have to have a Detroit car. Now he's got to know his car's going to get roughed up here. Here we have Terry Funk, a hardcore wrestling legend. That means somebody who's willing to have anything done to them: tacks, pull cues, explosives. I believe this guy Healy died, I would say a few years ago, but I think he died before Patrick Swayze. I think Patrick Swayze, if I had to guess, I think he probably checked out in 2005. But it's kind of remarkable. This guy really box office champ. Uh, Point Break is quality, but before that, he had the top film of 1990 as far as box office gross. This girl looks underage, and maybe that's just me being the old guy. But anyhow, Ghost I think made like a cool 400 million. It might have been more than that. It made pretty good dough. This gal here, she with the like bob haircut, she's in uh, one of these Bronson movies where he's got like a sassy sidekick of sorts. It's kind of funny. And she just has like these stupid quips throughout the whole movie. Glad she has a smaller role here. Girls in this movie look really damn good, like hotter than girls we get today, because everybody is trying to change the definition of what a hot chick looks like. But man, you can go to, you want to see how it's done. Roadhouse, man. This gal here sort of does stunt work. The blonde chick, I forgot the actress's name and the character, but she's kind of like the blonde hoe of the movie, right? I think she fights Keanu Reeves naked in um, Point Break. So Point Break's sort of a Roadhouse reunion between her and Patrick Swayze. Oh yeah, we just got to. Yeah, this is why you have to have the best cooler. You don't need a guy just throwing people into patrons, right? They're just sitting at a table, supposed to be buying drinks. You want to fight somebody, try to not have collateral damage. Yeah, this gal here would have these comebacks like, come on, lizard lips, whatever. And it's like, okay, chill. Like everything she says has to end with some kind of moronic quip. When my hair gets kind of long, it goes a little around the ears like it does here on Patrick Swayze. It doesn't look as good on me. He's the Dalton. There is no internet. There is no networking system. There isn't a newsletter coming out with a ranking for these bouncers, and yet everybody knows who he is. For a great Buick call. Yeah, that'll fix it. Strangely enough, movie I just finished watching, Vacation 2015, had a similar approach to vandalism in it. You know, it's a dump when there is a chain link fence around the band to protect them from beer bottles, which I don't think would actually help. Okay, you get hit by a hard beer bottle, all right, sure, that sucks, but one that's shattered and flying towards you, ah, might take my chances on the solid beer bottle, especially if it's empty. Now, of course, he's gonna sneak up on the band later. I think this guy's from Oklahoma. Everybody thinks he should be bigger. You know, if you're the bouncer legend, shouldn't you be big? Yeah, I mean, this isn't a toilet, pretty much. I do take your word for it. The Dalton, huh? Hey, we use this same song here in Predator. Yeah, you got to have people talking up how badass your hero is so that he can be strong silent type, you know. You don't need a guy who has to tell everybody and show them how tough he is all the time. We got all kinds of things going on here. We had a gal in black leather going off to the bathroom to do coke. This guy's pimping out some broad. Yeah, we might be violating some codes here. I'm not so sure. And I'll tell you, this is heavily edited on basic cable. It's almost a different movie because when I watched this all the way through some years ago, I think I might have actually picked it up on DVD, but then watching it on one of the streaming platforms, it's just like you never saw this fondling scene here, right? Like things it's the ultimate movie for this film was edited for to fit the screen, runtime, and for content. How much money can there be in a bar where everything gets wrecked seemingly every Friday, let's assume? I mean, you got some decent floor space. I'm not really sure that many returning customers, and your town has no one in it. It is a roadhouse. You're driving down the road and you find, hey, there's a bar. In my travels, driving down the highway, I'm more likely to just find a gas station, possibly a steakhouse, but you're more likely to find the combo station, that has it's the rest stop with a little bit about the area and the McDonald's. Savage beatings for everybody. I thought you were supposed to be cool in this place, Dalton. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Well, I mean, in reality, he's scoping the place out, seeing how much work this is going to take. He's got to do his assessment, right? He's like a contractor. Now, I tried using this setup when I was playing some Xbox the other night, and people said I sounded like Bane hosting a game show, which I'll take it. Realistically, Patrick Swayze could have his handful of Terry Funk. Oh man, the blind guy has got the girls lining up. Yeah, he hasn't shown you anything. He's making you wait to see how badass he is. Everybody else gets to talk about how tough he is, right? It's a good looking movie. I mean, you can't really get this on the same budget anymore. Like that nice shot on film look, actual locations. This guy looks familiar too. This salesman, sorry. Big T, huh? Look, I'm looking for a piece of junk, but this one happens to have a V8. Yep, the headlights work. Always a feature one is looking for. Remarkably, his tires didn't get slashed or anything on that Mercedes. Goes to the junkyard. He's got a system. He goes to the junkyard, he gets his tires. He knows tires are going to get slashed. It's not his first rodeo, right? Let's see, I may have to do some more sound effects for you guys. If I crack a joke, we'll give it a shot, okay? All right, now I gotta wonder: do I possibly have my mixer thing up over 100% on my end? I don't know how loud this is going to turn out. I may have to change this in post in Audacity. So I don't know. Just letting you know. Now I can do some funny voice things, I think.
Right, now this should be a disguised voice.
And now a small robot, probably really annoying.
All right, we're about to be introduced to our villain. You know he's bad because his helicopter it messes with the horses, man. Can't have that. So Dalton rents this guy's like what is it like the top floor of the barn for ridiculous low rate. Like it's insane. And then right across the pond, right across the lake, river, whichever, you got your super villain with his like mansion. He's got the helipad, right? Flies over the horses just to make them mad, huh? Now, the weird thing about this movie, you can kind of grasp the concept that the rich guy owns the town. Like he owns the cops. He allows the mayhem. He's running drugs, whatever. All right, Emmett meet Dalton. There we go. That could explain how the cops don't get involved. There's not enough people with money to care because he's the only one with money, right? So he's doing a racketeering operation. He's got his hand in everything. You can only really get away with that in a small town. You know, have a bigger operation, but your headquarters is outside the jurisdiction of say NYC cops, right? You got no air conditioning. No, I mean, okay, no air conditioning is going to be kind of rough in Missouri. I got that. But hey, man, when I was in middle school in Kansas, they didn't have air conditioning in the middle school. Absolutely brutal. What did he say? Was it $100 a month or $100 a week? It's huge. It's like, you know, open floor plan. It's amazing. Install your own air conditioning. You put a lot of money and time into this dump. Right. Okay, sure. The best damn cooler in the business. Even though people seem to think is it people think Dalton's the best or Dalton thinks Wade Garrett's the best? You know, the guy who trained him. By the way, I know you guys want to Sam Elliott it all up with the mustache and yeah, he's a cool cowboy like guy. Cooler in this movie. Wade Garrett, quite possibly the coolest movie hero. Or tragic hero or whichever we're going with here. And he fires Terry Funk, which I think works out pretty well for you. You got your walking papers, right? You got what, a 2 weeks check? Oh, you're caught selling drugs. Take your envelope. You're probably better off. I don't really see the problem with the being fired. You got paid for not working for 2 weeks, right? And that kind of the general consensus here. My way or the highway. Boy, did you see that kind of quote kicked around in those bumpers on like TNT Action Saturday, whatever, right? I'm kind of wondering how much noise my cup holder makes, kind of clinking. Pick up my Rockstar. This is who John Taffer thinks he is. 3 simple rules. Though, of course, he never brings in his bartender to show everybody how to make the drinks that are going to upsell. Be nice. It's that simple. You guys, all you gotta do is be nice, and then I'm gonna go beat up everybody. Not really working with the most elite staff. Mock turtleneck, is it? Kind of looks that way, doesn't it? Ooh, sick burn. Till it's time to not be nice. So you're gonna be nice until I say so. I'm telling you, they got pretty good supply of babes running into this dump, don't they? Like Sears credit card, huh? Whatever. Sears was a store, guys, a department store. Yeah, I go to the bar to get coffee. Uh-oh, skimming the register. He does not like it when the girls dance on the tables. That is a insurance liability right there. There really isn't a lot of that Taffer bar science, like we got to calm the mood. You don't have the punching machine that measures the toughness of your punch, right? You don't have that because it ups the temperature, it gets people rowdy and they throw fists. I don't think this is going to be the only Switchblade we see this movie. Switchblade, quite. I think Switchblades are slowly becoming legalized. All right, now we're getting to see Dalton in action here. It is a quick smashing of the table with this guy's nose. And people are like, all right, we don't want any of that. Maybe a sign that said strictly no dancing on tables could have alleviated some of this issue. Yep, that's Dalton, all right. Oh, this isn't going to be our only nakedness in the movie. I don't know if he's on his break. Maybe he can get away with banging some chick in the closet. We got quite an enterprise going here. Yeah, this is what they used to tease this movie with on Netflix. The scene, you're skimming the till. Ooh, yeah, you're stealing your severance pay right there. Now get out of here. Dalton's got the power to fire. This guy doesn't really have much backbone. That's kind of why he needs to, you know, buy the backbone off Dalton, doesn't he? I mean, that's one way to look at it. All right, have our tires been slashed? I mean, what is with this sand? It looks like there's sand surrounding the double deuce. You walk up to it, not really a ton of loose sand around, but yeah. I mean, we haven't even paved the parking lot or nothing. Oh, they left the knife. So they didn't slash your tires, they gave you a knife. Cut to the rich guy's got a party. Usually, rich guy parties are not. I don't know. This didn't really look like the rich guy party crowd so much. Typically, this is more like the swinger party crowd. Dalton looking a little envious, like, hey, maybe he'll invite me over there. Wait a minute, I recognize that blonde chick. She's been giving me the googly eyes. Pretty cool view from this barn. I mean, whose barn has windows? I briefly worked a farm and I never saw a barn that looked like this. Hold on. I like to sleep without pants on. I've got a few scars from all these fights. Oh, yeah. Got some Patrick Swayze butt action there. I think maybe some front from behind, possibly. The side effects of HD viewing, I guess, right? Now, you might be thinking he's going to be hooking up with this chick, right? Like, by the time Carrie Ann over here has come to wake him up, they've kind of had the most interaction. Like, maybe something bad will happen to her. He has to rescue her. And you kind of thought maybe he would hook up with the hot blonde chick across the pond, but he's going to realize she's a hoe and go for the nice girl here. That would be your typical arc, but in reality, Carrie Ann here pretty much exit the movie. Just, oh yeah, you forgot about me. There was a follow up, I want to say it was around 2005 to 2007, a Roadhouse 2, in which the son of Dalton has to go and avenge his death, dying off camera. It was a bunch of bullshit. I think I saw a cool minute of it. It was not released in theaters. This guy owns the town because look at the blatant disregard for traffic laws. So that I want to meet the gangsta who is so hard he doesn't stop at stoplights, right? Look at that. No concern whatsoever. Head on into another car, acts like you didn't even see him. It's your job to get out of my way. And that, friends, is the sign of a true badass. All right, so we have a store here that I'm trying to remember. Is this the one that explodes? Pepsi machine, nice. Napa know-how even. I mean, you're looking at some of this movie and you're thinking, oh yeah, it looks fine. And then you see something like this cash register, right? Or even anything in the Double Deuce, right? I'm not even so sure a dump like that could have a live music, really, you know? The villain with his Panama hat, right? And lackey who kind of looks like some kind of bizarro world Dalton. This movie's probably longer than it needs to be. Your action films were not typically close to 2 hours in the 80s. What is hiding this Mercedes? I'm charging him too little for this rent. See, the Mercedes was what we called back in the day a status symbol. But Dalton's he's in touch with that sort of Tai Chi thing going. Not something you've seen much in movies at this point. Probably could have trimmed the armpit hair, the chest a little, whatever. But no, he didn't have a quad. This guy, his ATV's got three wheels. Probably a good way to break your neck. Yeah, take in those scars, ladies. This is a guy who's seen some action. Hadn't really developed his chest a whole lot, but okay. And poor Jeff Healy here. How long are you in town to be playing at the Double Deuce? I mean, I've heard of a residency at Madison Square Garden, but this is a bit extreme. Tillman. Sorry. Shari. What am I saying? Yeah, you tell him. I brought a big knife this time. Yeah. This guy is not good with the knife. Through the window. To the walls. Oh man, Tillman just took a right uppercut to the stomach. Like kind of okay. I guess if Dalton's fighting, it's not time to be nice anymore. Movie underrated Foley work. 80s films, so many of them have that have a very fake sounding punch, but man, the punches in this, you feel them. I mean, there's even really good movies that have terrible kick and punch sound effects. I'm not saying Oh, they're terrible because they're the '70s Bruce Lee style. No, I'm saying they there's films up into the not all that too long ago really that have just such a lame foley work. Like everything has to be celery cracking because every even though we didn't break a bone. Now here is the actual love interest for our film. Now you think that the gal with the Golden Girls eyeglasses here is going to be Miss Prim and Proper? Not so much. She's willing to get down with Dalton, part because I think she gets to see everybody else is swooning for him for one, but he's got quite the medical records. He picked those up before he left New York. Pain don't hurt. Another quotable line right here. Pain don't hurt. Actually, it does. That's kind of the whole point. You're in pain, so you hurt to know that you shouldn't keep holding your hand in the fire. Yeah, I do philosophy, but I also like to, crack skulls and snatch tracheot. What is it? Larynx or something? What does he pull? He crushes throats, right? He's just lucky. That's why he ended up a bouncer. Yeah, okay. Are we assuming he stitched himself up here? Nobody ever wins a fight, huh? I mean, there are people who sure felt like they lost, if you ask me. When you stop by the Double Deuce, yeah, she looks like the type of person that would go to the Double Deuce, my buddy. I mean, just because you're outside of the workplace doesn't mean you have to do the advertising. I'll tell you this, that she saw him with his shirt off here, I think probably enticed her. Here we go, monster truck. This may or may not be one of the original Bigfoots. Um, I think Bigfoot might have came up in like 1979 or something, but there's been many a truck called Bigfoot over the years, and this Bigfoot's a Ford. I mean, it could be one of the Bigfoot, but yeah, just absolutely grossly huge tires. I mean, you see lifted trucks, but you don't see trucks with tires like that out on the road typically. I think, in most likelihood, they're not really legal. Otherwise, I think people would get away with it or try to, right? Can you get a monster truck in GTA Online? Because you should. This guy, he owns the whole town. He even owns the liquor license. You want to do business, you got to do it through me. Now here I got my tough guy. He doesn't talk either. Andy's got the kind of mullet type thing going. I'm not sure we would if this really qualifies as mullet. I think I think people would give MacGyver the mullet. I mean, it is so on the maybe mullet, possibly. You're telling him he's a bleeder, then you knee him in the balls. You expect them to be bleeding too? I like you so much, I punch you in the face. Now, nowadays, really, your villain, he's kind of the good guy in a series, right? Like we want to make the series focus on the crime family, right? The guys who are doing the racketeering and illegal operations, killing people, because they were a weakness, whatever. Like they make shows that glamorize that. It's like, this guy, he must know the hot doctor gal, huh? I see her picture on the wall. Or is that supposed to be a don't accept checks from this gal type of picture? Jasper Improvement Society. That his crime racket has a name. The Chamber of Commerce. What G-string night? Yeah, this is where we meet Wade Garrett here. Nope, it's not like a full mustache, more of a, you know, 2 or 3 days worth of 5 o'clock shadow type thing going here. But yeah, Wade Garrett is cool. Oh yeah, we're going to. You used to have water guns that looked like actual guns back in the day. So, Miho. Oh, I realize that Sam Elliott's gotten a little older, but he sounds quite a bit different these days, doesn't he? I think he's really leaning into the beef. It's what's for dinner. Almost Sling Blade type voice he's got going. Oh, there's a fight in the background. Guess I better get going, kid. I mean, I guess we're just kind of checking in with him. Not so much, hey, uh, so this is going down and you're going to come over here, right? But he will come in. No idea if she's actually singing this. Now, has she said anything yet? I think he knows you're a whore. He doesn't like his women that forward. He ain't going to kill you. Oh, but it's a trap, huh? Denise, that's it. Sorry. Also, we got sort of his dragon counterpart here pulling Denise away. Come on, it was part of the plan. I was supposed to lure him over to the place. Ford F-350 monster truck. I mean, it could be one of the Bigfoot. Could be. Not the worst song. The music played in this film is not terrible. Uh-oh. Looks like trouble's coming into the bar. Yeah, this guy's standing there with his knife boot, knife tipped boot, just like glaring, and you have to like run a flashlight over it to get that glare. May as well have had that kind of ting sound in it, that little chime, you know? Yeah, I mean, you want to hold on to this guy's boot and then throw it because that's his weapon. Well, what do you know? Kelly Lynch decided to show up wearing a picnic blanket, right? This is what he does? Oh no, this is so brutal. Should totally betray the third wave feminism and, you know, diversity, equity, inclusion, all that, you know, to the modern liberal mentality to give in to the wiles and court Dalton after seeing him being, you know, such an alpha, right? Such a masculine stereotype. I'm assuming he has trained these guys up how to fight off camera. Assumption. You don't look so bad when you don't look like Estelle Getty with them glasses, right? Bonnie's Grill, home cooking. I mean, is that an assumption that it's not microwaved? Dude, don't look like no Bonnie to me. Kelly Lynch at the height of her powers, FYI. He uses his philosophy to stop the bar fights, and then he uses his bar fighting to stop the bar fights. But you can't be a nice guy, Dalton. I mean, you're a cooler and you smoke. Oh, we're getting a little more aggressive. Throw that stop sign through his window. Not surprised. Kind of enjoys it. I'm not really sure what other movies she's done of note. Outside of this, I'm thinking not a whole lot. I think I've seen her show up, you know, looking much older in things, but yeah, I was saying of Swayze's career, it's like he just kind of goes away. Like, I mean, we know he ended up with some cancer, but I wonder for how long he was dealing with that because you consider that after trying to think, man, it's like, did you see him in anything in theaters so much after Point Break 91? Like maybe a couple things, but nothing too noteworthy, right? And then he does a TV series like around 2005 called The Beast. And I think that right around when it's getting canceled, it's when he died, or They had to cancel it because he died, something along those lines. But he had some like straight to video type stuff. I think he had like an Alan Quartermain movie with Allison Doody. Remember Elsa from The Last Crusade? Straight to video, you know? Oh, hey, I got punched or roughed up, clearly. That's why I have a massive bruise. Oh, but if Megan Fox goes to the Grammys with a broken wrist and a concussion and don't explain, yeah, I'm sure that's not domestic abuse at all, right? You gotta call your grandfather an asshole, really? You brought the mall here. Where's the mall? He says J.C. Penney's coming here because of me. Now, where I went to college, Lawrence, Kansas, they had a no malls policy. And that was in order to preserve the shopping on what they called Massachusetts Street. They called it Mass Street or just Mass. And you would find things, I think, like you would find Sears, and I think there might have been a J.C. Penney that were more like a Walmart, more of a freestanding rather than in the interior of a mall where you're more accustomed to seeing them. Oh, it's not self defense? What, do you think the cooler started the fight? Come on. Oh, it was an optional throat snatching. You're obviously a problem, so I'm going to try to buy your services. Yeah, but I don't like the way you do stuff, so I'm not working for you. That's what he meant by that. And this is one of those guys who, he's got to get things the way he wants. So if he can't hire you, he's going to make your life miserable or try to kill you, whichever comes first. Business is really picking up at the Double Deuce for really no explainable reason. Like, are people coming by to watch the bar fights? Is it Jeff Healy and his band? Are they that poppin'? It can't be the drinks. Like, we haven't even gone through the menu. I mean, so they did a little something to renovate. Um, does that matter that much? Does the word really get out? Do people go, hey, let's drive for an hour and a half? We got to go to the Double Deuce. In Kansas, it is hard enough to get people to go to the Kansas Star Casino, our state owned casino that was set up outside of Wichita because Wichita didn't want no gambling, meaning a nearby town got the gambling. And it may as well be a roadhouse. You're only really going there if they have a big enough act. I went last time I was there was to see Jay Leno. Oh, it's oh, that guy who has the name of the other guy, the Arbiter from Halo. I think he survives this movie too. Oh goodness, I'm going to look it up because I feel stupid now. The bad thing about this actor is there's another actor who has the same name but backwards. It's either Keith David or David Keith. I'm going to go with Keith. I'm going to go with David Keith. Let me type that in. Damn it, I was wrong. It's Keith David. You know, They Live. Yeah, Keith David, sorry. All right. The boss wants us to follow Dalton. So it's sort of a, hey, I'll pick you up in my Jeep but you are going to drive my Jeep. Let me show you my barn. Yeah. It's where the animal noises come from. I mean, it is a pretty nice barn. You got to give it that. Let me turn on some tunes for you with this, God's sake, I don't know, 40s radio. See, she falls for him because he's everything she's looking for. She could be looking for everything reasonably available in this town, I guess, right? He's a learned man who can handle his own. The simplicity. Yeah, I did get married. It didn't work. I picked the wrong guy. There you go. Now, I've made the point before that Patrick Stewart, God shit, Patrick Swayze, he's kind of like the ultimate movie star. You know, maybe not the biggest movie star ever. You know, because I don't really think he necessarily had the longevity factor, but he could do and excel at a great many different type of films as far as Western films go. And I mean Western compared to Bollywood, where everybody has to be a dancer, but he has the romantic movie, okay, Ghost. He has the dance movie. He can do that, Dirty Dancing. He can do the action movie. Point Break, this, you could say Red Dawn, possibly. Well, I think you could probably give drama in there for Ghost as well. Now I haven't seen Tu Wong Fu. Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar, but that would be a comedy for him. That was '95, and after that, I just really can't think of anything he did that got to theaters. Is off the top of my head, really. He's giving her a little bit of that Dirty Dancing routine right here. It's like, you know, I like to tell every girl she's baby and then put her in a corner. Speaking of being put in the corner, I think AMC is news comes out. Well, by the time you're hearing this, not that news worthy, but yeah, they want to charge you different for seats. You want good seats, you're going to pay more to see the movie. Oh, but if you want to, What's considered a good seat? Sporting event, front row, good seat, right? Movie theater, front row, and I think those are implants, but movie theater front row is the worst. Those are the worst seats in the house. Sure, Shaq can't sit in front of you with a cat in the hat, but you also can't see anything. It's incredibly distorted. You have to turn your head to read the subtitles. Like it's a pain. And I know that Frodo Baggins had spoke out on that, saying it was like um, a crime against the poor to be charging different prices. I mean, come on, you're getting rich off people in mass watching something you've been in, and you're not really lighting up the box office these days, Elijah. So I don't really think you need to be speaking out on this, except for clout, as the kids say. He's doing it for clout. If you have an opinion, it's for clout. You know these goons have got to have been watching them, right? They didn't close the blinds. They might just go chill on the rooftop naked, and I mean they're like facing the bad guy's mansion. It's a bit weird. It's like, look what I can do. And yeah, you get this kind of shot right here in the distance. You know he's watching, right? Dalton's get himself a woman, huh? Well, we'll see about that. If I could do something bad to her, that might convince him to leave or work for me or whichever the heck, right? Well, you make it sound like you brought a woman, you gotta charge extra now. All right, I think Wade Garrett's going to be hopping on the scene shortly. One of the downsides here is that the film kind of works best when it is Wade and Dalton together and hanging out, and that really doesn't occur for as long as you may recall it. Okay, so we have a little chat here with Jeff Healy. And I'm wondering how much, they say the SM7B doesn't, like, it rejects sound well, but mine seems to be picking up my entire house, judging by the meters over here. So I could be misunderstanding how this works, but. Oh, did the subtitles just say double douche? Sounded like that's what he said. Oh, they got Terry Funk with them this time. You guys running alcohol without our say so, huh? Well, there's too many of us for you. Just so happens my best buddy just got in town. Using a little bit of that kind of karate style, right? You can kind of see Johnny from Cobra Kai doing a little bit of this. Yeah, but Wade Garrett's taking his time. He's just chilling in the bar, right? I guess you got to go out back to see all the action. I know you. I tried to get you to come here, but I got Dalton instead. I had to settle for Dalton. Miho. Wait, do any of them recognize him? Punch in the crotch. That guy's got to be tall. Hurt, doesn't it? Yeah, that's another good line for you. Kind of, clip that and put that in your redundant movie reviews, right? There's a fight out back. Everybody come look. Down goes Funk. I should have said the drinking rules for this game. One of them is Wade Garrett brushes back his hair, take a shot. The blind man just ID'd Wade Garrett. It's like, wow, you're a legend in the bouncer scene. You're kind of my older brother / dad figure. I want you to meet my new gal. See if you approve of her. We're going to get hitched, but I want your recommendation first. Cut 2, we've been telling stories all night. Where's the scar from you? You got the scar, he says, huh? Let's compare scars. Yeah, okay. I mean, it was normal for a guy to not have a belly in the 80s. It's just kind of the way things were. We had less high fructose corn syrup in our food. Hey, what the hell is that? He took her to a different bar? Like, hey, let's sit down and talk for a little bit. We got to go to a bar to do that, but it doesn't have to be the Double Deuce. We just drove away from there, right? So now you would think that she's falling for Wade Garrett, kind of the way this is going. She seems to be so enamored with him. He's more charming than Dalton. Oh, some wingman you are. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you how much about him, really. It's just all diners and bars in this place, isn't it? He's calling him kid, just like Han Solo calls Luke Skywalker. Oh, but when I do it, it's rude, right? He hooked up with a married woman. Well, yeah, I wonder how they ever got so much Wade Garrett dialogue in on basic cable. So I'm guessing Dalton over here, sleeping with married man's woman. Guy pulls a gun on her, snatches his throat. Uh, Pled self defense and walked, apparently. Oh, we got The White Room playing by Cream. I'm telling you, even the extra girls in this movie, pretty damn hot. You got this gal to the left of Wade here, looks like Denise, but isn't. I mean, like even hotter version. Jeff Healy getting down on the guitar. Place got cleaned up. We don't even need the cage anymore for the band. We have a fire at across the street at the hardware store. Not sure how he's going to pay the racketeering fee for the week. You know, the protection when all of his store is lit ablaze. But okay. Anybody inside? Not anymore. Guys, this is back in the day when shit blew up in a movie. Look at that. You know it's a real building blowing up. You got people standing not far from it. That is badass. That is effort. Pyrotechnics we just can't quite seem to work out into today's stuff. This guy Red, he like gets out of the truck. He pulls up. He looks. What's going on? As soon as he stands out of the truck, now he's angry. Throws his cap down. Hey, what's the commotion? Oh, my place. You couldn't tell when you're driving up and saw the fireball? All right. We've got our villain here showing up at the Double Deuce now. Acting like he wasn't that responsible for this. Yeah, Denise, of course you can dance. You're allowed to. Yeah. Except this place isn't licensed for the topless bar, so poor Jeff Healy can't appreciate what's about to transpire. Did they just call Kelly Lynch's character Doc the whole movie? Now, if this is a problem, now it's kind of like Dalton's waiting for it to cross the line. He knows it's going to happen. So he walks up there, gives her a little, hey, get down here before you do anything you're going to get kicked out for. I mean, are they paying a cover fee? Because guys would pay a lot of good money for this. You get that, the kind of awkward high waist uh, briefs thing going there, but was the style, I guess. Yeah, much of this has to be trimmed down for basic cable. Oh, you're violating some rules, but he doesn't seem to be that upset about her smooching with him, but he's got a good comeback for her. Gonna have a pet, keep it on a leash. Yeah, there you go. Jimmy, it's time for you to do your thing. Y'all liquored up, got a pool cue. It's time for Bizarro Dalton to fight. Yeah, my staff's trained up. They're wearing polos. Show us what you can. I'm not that intimidated by his pool cue kata thing over here because there's something weird about the movements. It's not intimidating with the twirl. He like spins around on his heels. All right, you guys go. Don't be nice for a sec. See how this goes down. Fatty here is like, I gotta get a better seat. Yeah, why not wreck the whole place, right? I mean, you can't get the cops to stop these guys from coming in. And the bouncers seem to be letting these guys through anyway. Is this guy really that badass if he has to use a weapon on everybody? Here we go with the, oh yeah, that's kind of cool, but it is a stunt double for sure. The, I'm not really sure what he's doing. The pole vault spin, right? Wade Garrett's just too old, man. Oh, you should have known better, Wade. Everybody's got to call him old all the time, too. That's the part that kind of bites. All right. Now, this is the matchup I paid for. But I'm going to interrupt with a gun. And what if everybody doesn't stop fighting? Does he just start shooting people? Like, how does that work? Your ass is mine, boy. And then he has a weird line about what we do to guys in prison like you. It's like, I don't really want to know this guy's backstory. Why would he want to rebuild that worthless shack of a hardware store in the middle of nowhere that's in the middle of a crime racket? Take an insurance settlement, get the hell out of Dodge. Hell, they're really not that far away from Dodge City. You scared him last night. That's why he had to pull out the gun. Everyone's got this hopeful look at Dalton, like Oh man, you're the guy who's going to save the town. Yeah. A demonstration of the monster truck coming up. Put something down on a new car, indeed. You're selling, you're not selling enough Mustangs there, Ford dealer. So I gotta teach you a lesson. Like, I mean, what is this exactly? And there are people standing nearby. Like, that's the crazy part with all this. I'm not sure why that car would be chained down. Typically, you run a chain under these cars and you pull the chain to flip cars in a movie, and you could see the chain wire, whatever cable, and when you saw the car blowing up and you saw the cable pulling, parts of the car off, whatever, for the explosion, it really didn't bother me that much. It wasn't until you hear about it on the DVD commentary that you even realized it was a thing so much. You kind of thought, oh, that's part of the car. There's a cable. I guess when you blow up, you find the cables in the car, right? But telling you, Carrie Ann segued out of this movie. Like, as soon as Kelly Lynch showed up, she was just like, okay, you know what? I'll sing at the bar once, but otherwise, I'm just not so much lines in these scenes. We got it. It is your town. We understand. Hope you had insurance. You probably had insurance if you had a Ford dealership. I don't think this training dummy would last very strenuous test here. It's a 2x4 with some pads. Well, man, we get out of here. We can go bounce other places, right? Oh, yeah, he's climbing the rope without the use of his legs. I can do that, by the way. Really damn fast, like Jason Lee style in Soldier. Actually, is it Jason Scott Lee? Somebody goes by. And wait, is Jason Lee the guy that's in the Mallrats? Yeah, there's Jason Lee in Mallrats, and I think it's Jason Scott Lee. Yeah, I'm right. I'm old, but I still got. I can stop the punches. Well, he wasn't really gonna punch you. Come on now. I'm telling you, this is a fight we can't win. We got to get out of here. And he's right. They need to get out of here ASAP because he doesn't get out of here fast enough. I mean, he says he's leaving, but he doesn't actually leave yet. Um, he's like, "I'll see you." He should be gone, you know. Someday, I want to get a roadhouse barn like Dalton. I mean, you got like your gym training area downstairs. Evidently, the door doesn't lock. Late for a house call. Come on, man. Yeah, I don't think that the cigarette's that good for your stamina, but I could be wrong. Jump down, and I think he blew up the farmer's house. Come on. Why'd you have to go after Emmett? Poor guy. Bam! Another quality explosion. Well, this guy thinks he's seen enough, huh? He's not gonna. He's watching the explosion. He's like, yeah, that's enough. Yeah, get out the telescope. You know there's a fight coming. You get one of your goons over there. Yeah, making it obvious who set this up, right? Come on, tackled off the dirt bike. Not really the best comeback line right there, but not so tough without your pool cue, huh? And the fights in this movie, I mean, they're largely realistic. I realize that the modern approach here to the bar fight would probably be the MMA double leg takedown, submission stuff, ankle locks, sort of stuff like that, right? But I mean, this isn't too terribly extravagant. There's not like, crazy jumps flipping all over the place with weird poses. I mean, he's getting his hits in, you know? I just watched two Steven Seagal films in which no one laid a hand on Steven Seagal. Yeah, that driftwood wasn't going to snap, buddy. Yeah, sure. You knew it was going to happen. Why brag about this, my dude? Bragging about prison rape? Come on. I wonder if Dalton could have used that to his advantage. Like, all right, fine, I'll pull my pants down. That'll catch you off guard. Kicks through the little tree here. A lot of these hits look like they're making contact too. It's really, as a fight scene goes, like you got to give this some props, really. Oh, now he's bringing a gun. It's not even a knife fight, man. You're not going to be needing this throat. It's kind of my move. I take the throat out and then I send you down the river. Oh, jeez. She is like, this guy is gone. I'm not even going to try the mouth to mouth there. Like, forget it. Maybe I've changed my mind about you, Dalton. You're just, you're the powder keg. Yeah, I got your guy. Send him over. Unbelievable that he didn't, I don't know, watch this. Like, I mean, he's like, okay, the house blew up. I'm calling it a night. I'm gonna take off my Panama hat. Yeah, I'm paying these guys good money to fight Dalton, and I'm not enjoying it. At this point, you got to think it's remarkable that the Mercedes is in one piece. Live music. I mean, does that sign light up? Like, okay, it's not live right now. The sign's not on, right? He's giving him the Batman ultimatum here. You can only save one of them dies. Wade or Elizabeth. So she's listed in the credits as Doc. Well, I guess I'll flip a coin. With the phone. I'll just tell you which one I picked. Oh, I'm not even going to tell you who I'm going after. So, what do you want him to do? I mean, this is before cell phones were prevalent. Meanwhile, I mean, he's on the phone and Wade's been beat up pretty bad. So he didn't really have time to go save one. You can only save one, Batman. No scenario like that. Like, it was kind of a rigged game. Like, Jigsaw would not approve. They said I was lucky, meaning that they're actually going to kill Doc, but they just beat him up. But it's actually a trap. Hey, I'm going to go off and see Doc, which, by the way, Wade Garrett should have been out of town. I'll see you, buddy. So where the hell did he go? Because this is sometime later. Well, that was like 12 hours ago. Or, probably more longer than that, but yeah, she's fine. This is kind of the Dark Knight here. Like, he goes off to rescue one, but it's actually a trap in a way. Like, the other one he can't get. It's a little bit of a variation on it, but in truth, if he brought Wade with him, but he didn't, probably because Wade was beat up. If Wade was healthy, hey, we gotta go get Doc. Plus, she's a little mad at him. All right, well, she's fine and mad at me, so I can't really. I'll just tell her to watch herself. I don't know when the threat's coming, but now I'll go check in on Wade, see how he's doing. Could he have told somebody at the staff, hey, keep an eye on this guy for me? Get the cops, I don't care. Somebody. Yeah, I know the cops are paid off. Everybody, form a circle around Wade. Make sure he's okay. Carrie Ann, you haven't done anything in half a movie, so can you keep an eye on him? Uh-oh. It was Tails. Ooh. I mean, it's not a Jigsaw plan, but it is a Riddler. No, it is a Joker style plan. Like, the game you can't win. You think you made a choice, don't turn out. Now, this is going to fuel him to just go unleash. Yeah, he's got. Does Patrick Swayze have more quotes about pain? He's got pain don't hurt. Let it turn. Does he say something else in Ghost? Like, Being dead isn't that bad. It doesn't hurt or something, right? I'm checking out the wheels on this Mercedes. Are those not enormous wheels for that day? Like those could be like 17 or 18-inch wheels when everybody's walking around with 14s, you know? Shotguns ready, boys. How exactly he was able to line this car up to go down the road, like turn down the road and then drive straight towards them when, as you'll see, it's kind of a setup. Sick ass car stunts, man. You do not get that in the MCU. Instead, you have CGI everything and people standing in a green screen environment. The car actually landed the aerial twist move right there, too. That's pretty sweet. He's not there. Oh, yeah. You cannot pin the accelerator with a switchblade, like, or combat knife. Oh, so we know who did it. The guy put the knife back. That's good screenwriting right there, folks. Terry Funk seems to be down. I think, did we just kill Terry Funk off camera? Like maybe he was like, that's not going to work for me, brother. So it's like, okay, fine. We're not going to show you getting beat up. Oh, the human punching bag's down too. Dark interior lighting there. It looks like we walked onto the set of Dallas. Boom, waiting for you. This guy, I mean, he looked pretty competent with the knife here. Tails again. Oh, yeah. Human shield, knife throw. That's what you get for skimming the teal, buddy. And then there was one. Or I think maybe the fat guy's still alive. Well, I guess Denise doesn't get in on the action, right? Okay, yeah, there's the fat guy. And if I remember right, didn't like the polar bear come down on him? But it's like, it's not a living polar bear or grizzly or whatever. It's like, in fact, it's not actually anything. It's a mannequin with grizzly fur draped over it, theoretically. But it's enough to pin Fatty. But in the 80s, the fat, yeah, it was a polar bear. I was right. Polar bears are freaking huge, man. Deceptively, like we're looking at just absolutely gigantic. Yeah, I don't think it killed them. You're made for each other. How is that a comeback or a kill line or any of that? Some trophy room, man. You shot a giraffe. Oh, what? You got a trophy of a cow in there also somewhere? Can we quit calling Wade old? I think he's 48 at the time of this. Not exactly a ton of hiding space here, but yeah, you can't seem to keep track of where Dalton might be. Maybe Doc will be really impressed if I just, clean up this town by murdering everybody, right? And the music here, is it Harry Mancini? I can't remember who it said there, but it sounds like the James Horner Alien score at times, with the kind of like rising action. Now you can kind of see that the trajectory on the spear he's throwing there. I think they had it on a wire, so, zipping it across. But now, how much of a threat could this guy possibly pose? I mean, he's got this aged man reflexes, right? But yeah, granted, he's got a weapon. Dalton's a little roughed up. You thought it would be fun to fight him? What, are you going to put him in your trophy room? Was that the plan? I mean, well, he is in your trophy room. He's thinking about doing the throat snatch. But we kind of have a bigger lesson here. He knows that the throat snatch was a little much for Doc. His throat snatch hand gesture right there is the same thing Mr. Miyagi does. And then he goes honk, right, with the nose. Actually, maybe it's more of a palm up, back type thing, but you didn't snatch his throat. He's going to grab the gun. Boom. Massive blood squib. Red's revenge. Oh, but everybody else in town's getting in on the action. Emmett's like, you blew up my place. Everybody whose place gets blown up or crushed with a monster truck. Oh, look, yeah, the fat guy lived. That guy's like, oh man, I kind of missed out on that, but I'm holding a gun that's empty, so maybe I should just go back asleep. It'd be better for all of us. Now the police want to arrive. But I like the way how the town unites here. Like, Dalton was the catalyst to get the town to grow a backbone. They saw that he could stand up to him. Here, I'll throw my gun away and kind of act like I'm one of the witnesses here. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Yep. No, I didn't see nothing. No, yeah, me neither. Yeah. Just kind of, I was here and everybody's dead. What are you going to do? This is smart writing right here. Ask the fat guy if he saw anything. He looks at the monkeys doing this see no evil, hear no evil pose, right? And this is his out. This is his chance to lie so that he doesn't go to jail for being involved with the bad guy, right? And he gets that to work. Oh, polar bear followed me. He doesn't even actually lie. But at the same time he's not admitting guilt, so I think he gets to walk. And here we go with skinny dipping in public. And I guess we can, I don't know, what are we calling this? Dalton's Creek or something? Like, it's a pretty random way to end your movie. Yep. Okay. Play us out, Jeff. So Julie Michaels, I should remember that. Yeah. Emmett played by Sunshine Parker. Like that, we couldn't even find what his actual name was. He didn't have a birth certificate. And there is an actor named John Doe who I think I've seen show up and stuff. So there you guys go. That. Well, I'm trying to cue music here. That is Roadhouse. What do you guys think about that? Pretty decent. I think it's worth checking out, you know. In a lot of ways, it's your film that shows you kind of the time capsule. The 80s action film in a way, but also what we had over on cable, right? The halcyon days. Well, if you made it this far, wait until marriage.